Welcome, everyone, and welcome to the Light Show podcast. This is the first episode of my podcast. I want to do this for a super long time. I talk about Fallout constantly on my streams, in videos, in comment sections, everywhere. But finally, I'm making a podcast where I can slow down and really dig into the stuff, that doesn't really fit anywhere else. I can really slow it down and chop it up with y'all. And starting with Fallout just makes sense. It's one of my favorite games. It's one of my favorite series. One of my favorite worlds. Yeah, so the new Fallout season is amazing. It just dropped 2 weeks ago. We're on week 3 as of recording of this video. The next episode is about to drop tomorrow, New Year's Eve. It's December 30th at the recording. So I'll probably get this out by the time the third episode's out, but the next podcast will be right after the third episode. So let me chop it up. Let me break down what this podcast is really about to be about. So there's going to be no surface level recaps. We're not ignoring any background details. We're talking about theories. We're talking about hidden motives. We're talking long games. We're talking, war never changes. That's what we're talking about. This is episode 1. I just want to let you know there will be spoilers. We will be deep diving. So if you haven't caught up on the series, if you haven't watched episode 1 or 2, or even any of the episodes for season 1, go watch those episodes before you watch this or listen to this on Spotify. We will be on every single app. I'll be on every single platform. I'll be posting short form versions on TikTok. I'll be posting short form videos on YouTube, Instagram, for long form on YouTube. I'll be posting on Spotify. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you will find it. All right. So if you ever wanted to watch Fallout and you're watching this just for me and you're thinking it's something you might want to get into, literally get into it. You're in the right place. Let's hop into it. But let's get straight into the first episode of the podcast. So in this podcast, episode 1 and 2 have been released. So we're going to be breaking down both episodes, but usually we're going to be doing it week by week, episode by episode. I'm also live on Twitch right now. Shout out to Twitch chat. Shout out Carter in there. Shout out Yime. Shout out gang. Shout out everyone lurking, everything and everyone. All right. So first, I want to start off the first segment of this podcast episode. I want to talk about first impressions. Now, I think just like season 1, season 2 starts off amazing. We see Robert House, what we think is Robert House, instantly. Also, we're going to talk about Robert House later on. That the Robert House we see, is he Robert House? Because I know they recast it. They called it recast, but is it really a recast? Also, bring up, usually podcasters have their little coffee mug, and they be drinking coffee in it, right? I got some Nuka-Cola. I got some Nuka-Cola in this. You know what I'm saying? A little ghetto in here, but as the first podcast, you should expect it to be so. Appreciate everyone clicking on this video. All right, first impressions. I think season 2 started off immaculate, just like season 1. Season 1 started off with complete bangers. We see the vault, we see Lucy, we're introduced to the main characters, and then the raiders come in and absolutely terrorize the vault. And in season 2, episode 1, we kind of get, it's not very action packed, but we see some crazy things. We get introduced to a new device, the thing that they put on the back of their necks to control people, and we see Robert House using this, which is actually insane. This shows you a whole new side of Robert House, which I think I enjoy so much. A lot of people don't like the show, and if any of you don't like the show, please put in the comment section why you don't, or in chat tell me why you don't. I'd be super interested to see on people's negative sides. So far in episode 1 and 2, I can't find any negative things, any negative connotations I put with these episodes. They're pretty good. They're filled with, they're not going too lore off, or they're not going off the lore basis or anything. So I think it's good. I like the Easter eggs. I'm a big Easter egg guy, so a lot of Easter eggs in there. But the first impressions of the 2 episodes are great. Episode 1, I love seeing Robert House, and there's kind of 2 Robert Houses, so we're going to talk about that theory later on. Stick around for that theory. I also have a video on that theory if you want to go check it out. But we see that the first episode of this new season brings in that new technology. We see the thing on the back of the neck controlling people, and we see Robert House use it on someone to attack other people. Not only is this like a fear tactic, which at first I thought was like, oh, this will blow up in your neck, so go do what I say or I will blow it up. No, this is actually controlling people, which is insane to me. And it's just so much darker. Like, it brings a whole darker scene into Fallout, which I love. Fallout's supposed to be dark, supposed to be, it's supposed to be scary, but it's also humorous. Episode 2, with how it starts off, we see Shady Sands. Oh my goodness, I loved seeing Shady Sands. I don't know if you did not like watching or seeing Shady Sands. I don't know how you're a Fallout fan. No offense, but playing the games of Fallout 1 and 2, seeing Shady Sands, and then finally seeing Shady Sands at a screen, a movie or a show screen adaptation is unbelievable. It literally looked like a real city, which is crazy because up till now we didn't really think, anything could be civilized. Obviously in Fallout 2, or in Fallout 1 and 2, we saw Shady Sands and knew that it was like a pretty good civilization, but not to that level, not to the extent where people were making purified water, which you see Maximus's dad making purified water, which is insane to me. And we see, Hank McClane blow the bomb up, the nuke up inside Shady Sands, which I had no idea he, controlled someone to wheel that thing in. I thought they literally dropped it out of a nuke silo or whatever, which makes sense because up until the show, no one has made it to the Vault Tech spot. No Vault Tech employees have come up from the vaults and started doing their master plan until we see Hank McClane in the Fallout show. So I think the first impressions of the episodes are unbelievable. They did great first impressions. The first episode was phenomenal. Second episode was phenomenal, impressing me off the rip. So with that being said, we're gonna jump straight into the highlights of each episode. The highlights of each episode. Episode 1 is Robert House. I think making Robert House the main focal point of this season has to be done because in Fallout New Vegas, although he's not the main focal point, he is a major antagonist, protagonist, whatever you call it. He's definitely a main character, and with it being in New Vegas, obviously Robert House is going to be a major part. So I love that they brought Robert House in, and I love that with the recasting they're doing, it's not just a recast, right? We'll get to that with my theory, but it seems to be something deeper, which I enjoy. I love that. More highlights of episode 1 was the ghoul, right? We see the ghoul. We see the ghoul in Novak. Also, a great first impression, seeing Novak as one of the first scenes. Novak. Although they got it wrong, I can't lie. That's one negative connotation I think people can put on it, is they got Novak wrong. The dinosaur was facing the wrong way. There's no pool. There's no pool in Novak, I don't think. And although this is years after Fallout New Vegas, obviously they could put a pool and they could move a dinosaur or whatever. But, they're in the wrong places. So that could be one negative connotation. But seeing Novak, whether it was, perfectly adapted or not so perfect, it was still cool seeing that. And we see the ghoul working his magic. Obviously, we see Lucy still containing that golden rule throughout the wasteland, which I hope we see deteriorate over time, which would be a cool thing to see. Robert House and the ghoul, phenomenal characters. I love also highlights of episode 1 is going back into Howard's life, the ghoul human form's life, seeing him talk to Moldaver, figure out his wife's plans, figure out that, and then we see what a major highlight for me is we see Moldaver pretty much tell Cooper Howard, kill Robert House, which is pretty insane, which I can't wait to see take place in season 2. Highlights for episode 2. Obviously, Shady Sands. I mean, come on. Shady Sands looked awesome. I loved finally seeing Shady Sands in screen adaptation, and I loved finally seeing what truly happened to Shady Sands. Up until now, we never knew what happened. We just seen that it was it was thriving in Fallout 2, the game, and ever since then, we never seen what came of it. Until finally the show tells us it got nuked. and it's finally good to see, the outcome of Shady Sands, see what truly happened to Shady Sands. Another highlight of episode 2 that I love is the highlight on the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood is one of my favorite factions in all of Fallout. We see them in every single game, which means obviously they're a very sound and profound faction within the Fallout universe. I love their power armor. I think a lot of people love their power armor. They're not my favorite faction. My favorite faction probably got to be either NCR. I like the NCR a lot, or I'm not gonna lie, I like the Kings, the Kings from the Vegas Strip. But let me know what y'all's favorite factions are down below. But back to what I was saying is the Brotherhood is such a profound faction throughout all of Fallout. We see them in the Commonwealth in Fallout 4. We see them in Fallout New Vegas. We see them in every single Fallout. Although in Fallout New Vegas they are kind of, on the slim side. They're forced into hidden bunkers. Nonetheless, it's still a great faction in Fallout New Vegas. And I love finally seeing the Pridwin, right? I'm pretty sure we've confirmed that massive ship is the Pridwin, which we did not know what happened to because of the Fallout 4 ending. There's so many different endings in Fallout 4, but I think a majority of them end up with you destroying the Pridwin. Now, does that give us a canon ending for Fallout 4? I think so. At least one of the canon endings is when you don't destroy the Pridwin, unless this might be like a Pridwin Mark II or a second part of a second version of the Pridwin. Who knows? We'll probably figure that out sooner or later. But highlights for that episode 2 is probably the Brotherhood. I love seeing the Brotherhood. I love seeing them in action. I like seeing how ruthless they are, because behind this, on the surface, especially in Fallout 4, you kind of see the Brotherhood as, I don't want to say the good guys, but definitely a less evil faction. But when you get into this in the show and in New Vegas and other, once you get further away, I think, from the Commonwealth, you start seeing the Brotherhood becoming a kind of, I don't want to say bad faction, but a faction that doesn't deal in absolutes. They're not constantly, we're good or bad, we're doing this for this reason. They obviously have a huge reason, but in the show we're seeing them bend rules, we're seeing them cut ties, we're seeing them act upon almost trying to start a civil war, which I love to see. Another highlight I love to see is Maximus. Obviously that goes hand in hand with the Brotherhood, but Maximus is one of my favorite characters. Last season didn't like him so much. This season I think he's an absolute badass. Sorry for cussing. Yeah, let's get, now the highlights are the way. Tell me in the comments what your highlights of this episodes are, what your favorite highlights are. Another highlight, totally forgot, the Ghoul and Lucy's running with Kaisar's Legion. I think the way they're introducing Kaisar's Legion is great. We gotta see what they're gonna do with it. But Lucy not knowing who that girl was, the Tunic Ghoul referred to her as, I think is super cool. I can't wait to see that happen. I can't wait for Lucy to figure out who Kaisar's Legion really is. And the Ghoul pretty much telling her, you don't want to mess with these guys. So I think Kaisar's Legion, and then you see the Kaiser Legion shot up where they're all stacked up on the mountain. Oh my goodness, what a great shot. I can't wait to see what happens in episode 3. But yeah, another highlight from the episode 2 was Lucy running in with the Kaisar's Legion and Ghoul getting stabbed in the leg. Shout out Twitch chat, shout out Celtics in the Twitch chat, W Celtics. Now let's get into the segment of theories. I forgot to tell you guys, I'm gonna be bringing guests in. Anyone from my Twitch chat, YouTube chat, whatever. If anyone wants to come in and pop in and talk about theories, we can get that going. Since this is a podcast episode number 1, we're gonna have to get a little. We're just gonna have to do a trial run, see how it goes. All right. Let me take a sip of my Nuka-Cola. Also, if you didn't know, there are sodas that came out for Fallout. They're pretty dang good. I'll be doing a review on those pretty soon. I don't drink soda pretty much ever, but I had to give these Nuka-Cola sodas a try from Costco. If y'all have a Costco in your area, definitely check it out. So let's get into the theory segments. I'm definitely gonna bring one guest on here just to give a trial run, see how it goes. So theories. Couldn't wait for this part. Could not wait for this segment of the episode, man. Theories. My biggest theory right now, I did a whole video on this, posted it on YouTube. If you want to go check it out, check it out. I'll put the link in the description below on wherever I can. Robert House. Let's talk about Robert House. Think about it. We see Robert House, right, in early episode 1, and he's sitting in a bar, right? Was it episode 1 or episode 2? I can't remember, man. They're so good, I tie them together. Either way, we see Robert House sitting in a bar, and Robert House is sitting at a bar, either drinking or smoking a cigar. Can't remember, maybe both. And the guys, they're giving off like the guys in the bar giving off like blue collar. They work 9 to 5s. They work construction. I think the guy literally says he works construction, laying pipe, whatever. They're working handsy jobs. And Robert House on the TV is talking about bringing robots or his whatever Robco is into business, which is going to put those guys out, right? So they're seeing his face on the TV, right? And then a guy behind them, which is the new Robert House, which is a recasted version of Robert House, they say, starts talking, and they're like, oh, so what are you, his biggest fan? So if that's Robert House, but he's just recasted, wouldn't they put two and two together? They would see that guy on the TV and be like, that's Robert House. Then the guy talking behind them, that's Robert House. But no, they don't recognize him. So my theory is it's not just a recast. That would be very lazy and dumb. Although I'm not gonna say too much, but things in the people making this tend to get lazy sometimes. We've seen a lot of lazy videos or lazy shows and movies recently, but I don't want to just chalk this up to laziness and dumbness. This is something planned. I think that the Robert House you see on TV is a front man for Robco. I think the man you see on TV is the guy in the bars, kind of front man face, if you could say, kind of like a two-headed snake, right? Where you got Robert House, the real Robert House, I think, is sitting in that bar. No one knows that's Robert House, really Robert House. And you got the focal point, or the front man, not focal point, my bad, the front man on TV. So that means the real Robert House can really work in the shadows, scheme, connive, because they say multiple times that Robert House is very calculated with his moves. He doesn't do anything that's not with purpose. So my thought exactly right when I saw that is that's not a recast. That's Robert House playing. That's Robert House kind of playing dummy or playing puppet, where he has the strings and he has the Robco face playing, and then he's in the back. Because if you look at New Vegas, the face on the TV looks more like the guy in the bar than the guy on the TV. Sorry, that didn't make much sense. In New Vegas, when you see, I'll put it up on screen for YouTube. When you see Robert House in Fallout New Vegas up on his giant screen, you see him, with like a kind of like a part in his hair flipped over. He has a black tie on, black suit. That guy looks way more similar to the dude in the bar than the guy on TV. Robco's, the face of Robco. So that's where I'm like, Robert House might have two, like a quarter. He might have two faces. Obviously, who knows, bro? That should be a good theory. And I want to hear y'all theories. This is where I'm going to bring a guest in as well. I want to hear y'all theories in any comment section that you're on, whether you're watching on YouTube, whatever. Let me know what theories you have. I love seeing theories. I love watching theories. I watch theories all the time on YouTube. Shout out all the guys that make lore and content videos on Fallout, man. I love them. They inspire me. So we're going to bring in a guest. Anyone from the Twitch chat want to pop in? I know I'm not live on YouTube. I didn't set up YouTube, so I'm going to do that for the next episode, though. Take a sip of my Nuka-Cola. All right. 2K Cartiers says he would love to talk about his theory. Okay. Let's get 2K Cartiers on. In the meantime, chat, tell me all. Oh, my goodness. I didn't even talk about first impressions with Big Iron. Big Iron on his hip? Are we kidding? We're playing Big Iron off rip in episode 1, man? You can't tell me that was not heat. That was my favorite part of the episode. I can't even lie. All right, we're gonna go ahead and bring a guest in. I'm gonna go ahead and drag him in. Let me make sure that everyone can hear you. Go ahead and just say what's up. Let me see if Discord is being monitored.
Yo, yo,
Okay, there we go. I think they can hear you loud and clear. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you?
Cartier. So,
2K Cartier. What's up, man? So tell me, do you have any theories? You know, I already talked about the theory of Robert House being like a two-headed snake. Do you have any theories you'd like to, express up on this podcast? Let me hear.
man, I got a theory and a recommendation.
Okay, I'd love to hear it.
You know how they got all that dang technology and shit? They got a dang super suit,
Yeah, yeah.
Iron Man suit
Power.
and all
Talking about
that.
the power armor. Okay, power armor. Yeah.
They gotta build a dang, they gotta make some dang radioactive booty cola or something, bro. Cause that little the fucking main character Lucy, I'm tired of seeing them little ass yams on the screen, bro. She gotta do some squats or something. So you gotta make some dang.
Okay. Yeah, that didn't go well whatsoever. Sorry if you heard that. 2K Cartiers, what the hell, boy? What the hell? Um, okay. Power armor technology to increase yam size, I guess. Uh, that's a crazy first guest on the episode. That's insane. You know what? We're not even gonna cut that out. I think that's we're gonna put a little bit of humor in my podcast, I guess. Hopefully next time we can get someone that knows what they're talking about. Dude called the power armor Iron Man suits. I think he said. Like, come on, bro. Anyways, um, yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm thrown off. Let me get back into it. Theories. Okay, I don't really have any more theories outside of outside of Robert House. Oh, another theory I have, it goes along with Robert House, is Hank McClane when he goes onto that radio station asking for a raise, saying, like, I'm gonna pick up where you left off, or pick up or start what you wanted to start. Um, I think he's talking to actual Robert House. If you go look at my video, um, I think that Robert House is the guy sitting in that dark room when all the big CEOs are sitting in the corner. They got Robco, they got Nuka Cola in there, they got a bunch of stuff. They got all the people in there. Um, and then Barb, I think her name is, right. Cooper Howard's wife looks up and sees a guy sitting in the black room and pretty much like looking over everything, and it kind of gives you the impression that that guy up there is kind of running the show. He's kind of running, you know, he's kind of running the scene of Vault-Tec, which people might say like, oh, that's Bud Askins. No, it's not Bud Askins. I don't think Bud Askins is capable of what he's capable of what we're seeing. A lot of people can't just chalk it up like, oh, Hank McClane is talking to Bud Askins on that radio. No, it's not Bud Askins. I can tell you that right now because Bud Askins was in, where his brain was in the vault Hank McClane came from. So he was talking to the guy like as if he was dead, or if he doesn't know what happened to him. He would have known if it was Bud Askins. He would have known what happened to him. So my pretty much theory is that Robert House, the figurehead, like the guy that we see at the bar smoking a cigar, not the one on the CD, is kind of running all of Vault-Tec, which would make it a lot like darker. It would make the story darker, and we would see Robert House as a way different person. And I don't know about y'all, but if Robert House really is the guy behind Vault-Tec, I'm killing him every time in a New Vegas playthrough. Speaking of New Vegas playthrough, I am currently on a deathless run. Permadeath. If I die, I have to restart my character, restart from the beginning. So go check that out on YouTube. We're currently on like episode 2, and I'm live. I'm live on YouTube and Twitch for both of those, or for the playthrough. So go check it out. But yeah, my theory is that Hank McClane was talking to Robert House on that thing. Another theory I'd like to talk about. I don't really have a theory with any factual evidence behind it, but it goes along with the VIPs in the Frozen section within Hank McClane's little vault area he's in. Do we think Barb and Cooper Howard's daughter could be in there? That's interesting to think about. I personally don't think so, because that's not VIPs. Barb was literally like, you know, running that pretty much. Barb was a step above Hank McClane. So if Hank McClane's going to be put in Vault 32, right? And Hank McClane's going to be put, and this random VIP who they killed off, who Hank McClane killed off with the testing the neck thing, I don't see Barb getting put in that situation. I think there's going to be another place, another area where all the executives, Barb, everyone, like all of the higher ups that Barb was with, the people like Robco and obviously not Robco, but all the other CEOs, they're going to be all in one place or somewhere where there's not, just a random VIP section. They're going to be in a very secure spot. What is happening in the background? The background is me playing Fallout New Vegas. I just have that up a little bit just for some entertainment. I thought it would be cool. But yeah, that's my theory. Is maybe Barb is in that little underground facility that Hank McClane is at. You never know. Now for theories, let me know in the comments. Obviously, I can't wait. I think next episode of the podcast, we're definitely going to be talking about everyone's theories. I'm going to see y'all's comments, your concerns, whatever you say about the theories. We're going to get straight into it on the next podcast. We're going to talk about it. Now, let's get to the character segment. I wanted to get into a character segment where we talk about characters. For me, a character that stands out very, very immense, obviously because he's one of the main characters, is Maximus. Maximus from season 1. He was likable. I liked finally we got a, prominent male character that wasn't a badass, wasn't, knowing what he was doing. He was kind of lost, right? And that was Maximus. He was lost in the world. He didn't know what he wanted. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know where to go. Part of that being the bombing of Shooting Sands. He literally lost his parents, lost everything he ever knew, and got brought into the Brotherhood at like the age of 8 or 9. Maybe even like 6, 7. So the fact that Maximus goes through that, he goes through the wasteland and can turn around and within a span of 1 season and kind of be a new person. I love how Maximus has become. He's still kind of timid. He still kind of doesn't know what he wants. He's still kind of dipping his toes in the water, I guess you could say. Which I think I like they're progressing him as a character. At the end of season 1, you kind of see he's becoming more of like a confident in himself. Now in season 2, we see Maximus kind of just like embracing his body armor. He pretty much embracing the killing of Knight Titus, right? Knight Titus was the one who got killed, and now he's wearing his power armor because we can see the scratches from the Uguay bear thing that cut his power armor. That is super cool that he's still wearing that power armor as kind of like maybe it's like kind of like a reminder for him, like this, like you could die, this is life or death. Everything you're working for is kind of like, comes from this, and just reminds him of where he's come from. And now we see Maximus kind of walk with his chest up and his chin high. I feel like in season 1, you kind of see Maximus like slouched. He's kind of always in the back, letting everyone go first. Now, season 2, he's kind of walking around, strutting around like, yeah, I'm tough. I know what I'm doing. And his the main leader of his branch in the Brotherhood, the old man, I can't remember his why can't I think of his name? Chat, help me out. What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name that is the like leader of the Brotherhood in season 2? Dang, why can't I think of it? Anyways, he goes to Maximus and kind of tells him, like, calls him his son. And Maximus, like, you can see him like smile off that. But also this kind of ties on the theory. My theory is that he's not smiling because he has like a father figure again. He's smiling. Quintus, thank you, Twitch chat. Quintus is like trying to put himself into the father role of Maximus, which he pretty much did. And I don't think Maximus is smiling because he has a father again. I think he's smiling because he's right where he wants to be. He gained the trust of Quintus. He gained the trust of the leader of the brother, or like the king of his branch, or leader of the branch of his brotherhood. So, which kind of puts him in a position that he wants to be in. Which my theory is that he wants to be in this position so he can do good by the wasteland. You know, put himself in a position where he can do better for people. He can protect people. He can give people what they need, and maybe put himself at the leadership of the brotherhood when Quintus somehow maybe passes. Because when kings die, their firstborn son, or their heir to the throne, is their son. And obviously this isn't practical, right? But we have Quintus with Maximus, and Maximus is like, yeah, I'm his son, I'm gaining his trust, I'm next to the throne, I'm next to the king, right? I'm about to be the king, which is where Maximus wants to be. I think Maximus went down to the wasteland and saw how brutal and rough it is, and is like, you know what, I could do good with this. All the power that the brotherhood has, the cold power fusion, the cold fusion power, whatever you call it, but I could do so good with this. Quintus doesn't know what he's doing with it. So I think Maximus is smiling, not because he has a father, but he's in the right place. And I like Maximus a lot this season, especially the fight scene, bro. The fight scene when Maximus is fighting big old dude who was like, I could crush you. That really made me love Maximus, because he's evolved from being like a guy that's like, I don't want to fight, to a guy like, well, it's kind of like everyone that's gone through the wasteland. It's life or death. Everything out there is life or death. You know, you see a scorpion, it ain't no scorpion I could step on no more. This is a scorpion I gotta really square up with and box, or I'm dead. So now he's really like, this is life or death. This isn't Shady Sands anymore. This is real life. So he also realizes, I think, that in the position he's in, he has to do whatever it is, whether it's kill people, whether it's kiss people's feet. He has to do whatever it is to get to Quintus's position. And that's why he kills Maximus in the first season. I don't think we could see him really kill that guy. Yo, shout out Mikey03X with the raid. Mikey, we are in a podcast right now. Thank you for the raid, bro. I appreciate you, bro. How was your stream? Shout out Mikey03X. Anyone watching this on YouTube, on the podcast, wherever you were listening, look up Mikey03X on any platform, man. He's super cool, super sick. Go follow him. But like I said, he kind of has to do whatever he has to do to get to Quintus's position. And this is why I like Maximus, is because he's kind of figuring it out. It's either kill or be killed. He's figuring out, if no one's going to do it, I will. If the wasteland's still going to be, it's only a matter of time till Vault-Tec comes to the surface and starts taking over again. So we need people in power that can, fight Vault-Tec. And I think Maximus is seeing, like, with Lucy being a, influence on him, I gotta be ready for the next thing to come. And being ready is being the king of the Brotherhood. Keep going crazy. Much love. I appreciate you. Yo, W, send me in the chat. W, everyone from Mikey's Raid. I appreciate y'all. If y'all mess with Fallout, let me know. If anyone in here wants to get in on the podcast that likes Fallout, let me know. We're talking Fallout Season 2. If anyone's watched this, the Fallout show. I just got done with my theory segment, and I'm on to my character segment right now. We just talked about Maximus. Podcasting on your own? Yes, I'm podcasting on my own. No one else really wants to do podcasts with me, so we starting it up. If there's no one to do it with me, it's myself, right? So let's go characters. Characters that are starting to piss me off. Number one, Lucy. Lucy in episode 1 and 2 absolutely irked me, right? In season 1, I can kind of get over her being all goody two-shoes and friendly, right? I can kind of get over her being like, oh, I don't want to kill people, I don't want to, golden rule. But after so long in the wasteland, you almost get your organs harvested. You almost, all these things. Let's do one soon. I don't know much about Fallout though. No, we can do whatever you want, Mike. Let's do one soon for sure. Hit me up, bro. But yeah, she's been through so much in the wasteland, and she still hasn't adapted to that. Like, we got to do whatever we can do to survive in the wasteland. And it kind of makes me mad, especially when we see her in Novak, and the ghoul is hanging by his neck and he's getting suffocated. Obviously, he's a ghoul. It's going to be hard to kill him. But I hate that I'll get more into why I hate her, but she's still goody two shoes after everything we've seen, which she's holding herself to that standard, the golden rule. Can't be mad at her for that, right? But I do love the fact that when we see her sharpshooting, obviously her gun skills are maxed or whatever, because she was hitting everyone in the spot that isn't lethal. She was shooting everyone in the legs, the shoulder, everywhere that's not lethal, obviously. The Ghoul, on the other hand, he don't give a damn. Whoever it is, he blicking him down. But the main reason I disliked Lucy, I don't dislike Lucy. Let me change my mind. Lucy has a bad taste in my mouth right now. Pause. Anyways, because of her interaction with the Ghoul and the Kaisar's Legion slaves that we see with the Rad Scorpions. The Ghoul has been in the wasteland since the wasteland has started. Trust him when he tells you people are bad people. If someone like the Ghoul is telling you these are bad people, you should probably listen. Because what reason does the Ghoul have to lie about someone being bad? Really? He's telling Lucy, these people are bad, don't mess with them. What does she do? Stim packs the Kaisar's Legion girl and takes her back to her camp. Lucy about to get turned into a slave her damn self. Because she's too dang stubborn to realize that not, like, people are bad in the wasteland, and she gotta somehow, I don't know when, but sometimes she's gonna realize that. And wasteland, what they say, patrolling the wasteland patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. And that's what's gonna happen to her. I think she's gonna turn crazy. But I'm not gonna say Lucy's starting to piss me off. I said that, but she's not starting to piss me off. It irks me when I see her not listen to the Ghoul, and the Ghoul's been in there since day one. The Ghoul's seen everything in the wasteland. So listen to the Ghoul when he tells you these are bad people. Another character obviously is the Ghoul. I love the Ghoul. I'm pretty sure everyone's favorite character, close to almost everyone's favorite character. And the Ghoul is looking phenomenal this season. The first episode when they got Big Iron playing, and he shooting everybody, blicking everybody down, making things happen. It's awesome, right? It's awesome. Love seeing the action, the action off rip. Love seeing the gore that Fallout New Vegas brings. Fallout New Vegas brings gore. So does the show, which I love. They got that perfectly intact. But yeah, the Ghoul got AP points. The Ghoul got AP for days, because that dude ain't missing, right? Another character I love. I can't lie. I cannot lie. Obviously, he's a bad character. Hank McClane. When I say bad character, he's like evil, not bad. Not a bad character. He's one of the best characters in the whole show. He's also acted very well. Everyone in the show is great actors. I can't lie. There's not a single person where I'm like, dang, that's bad acting. But I love that Hank McClane, they're delving deep into the Hank McClane is evil. Like, you're really seeing how evil he is. It progressively gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Obviously, bang, off rip, you see him nuke Shady Sands, evil person. Then you see him use a raider with a thing on his neck to communicate to Lucy to say, stop following me, while they go to that vault. Which the vault, we finally see, we didn't know, was it Vault 22, Vault 20 something, 21 maybe? No, 21 was in the strip. I think it was either 20 or 22, something in the 20s. We finally see this vault, which we didn't know about. And it is they're doing like a Soviet experiment where they're trying to brainwash people into becoming communists, which is insane, right? So love to see new vault lore. Love to see it. Anyone that knows me on YouTube, I do vault lore every single day, and I love to see new vault lore. But yeah, you kind of see Robert House progressively get more evil and evil and evil and evil, which obviously from the jump he was evil, right? Obviously, he killed his own wife and the mother of his children. Didn't kill her, but pretty much killed her with the nuking of Shady Sands, and just to push Vault Tech agenda. Insane, evil. Puts the nuke into Shady Sands. Evil. Puts the thing on the back of people's necks. Evil. And now he just pulled out a VIP. But regardless of whether he justified it by the guy didn't bring his family in because he only had room or only enough money for himself or whatever, or obviously he had more money for his family, but he only wanted to buy it for himself because he's selfish. That's what his excuse was, to kill him. still killing it. He still killed him. So, evil. He's constantly trying to push the agenda of Vault-Tec and putting these things on people's necks to control people, which is insane and evil. So I love the evolution of Hank McClane's character. But yeah, that's not all I wanted to talk about. I have some follow-up questions. I was gonna say that's all I wanted to talk about. I have some questions on my little notebook thing. One of my questions is, did Vault-Tec turn people into communists for a specific reason? With that new Vault we saw, right? Were they turning people into communists for a certain reason? Were they doing it to try and infiltrate? Were they doing it to see how easy it was to brainwash people? Or were they doing it to see how they could brainwash people? And they just chose communism as a way to brain, like a source of brainwashing. I don't know. Interesting on that. Vault 24 is where the vault that I was talking about. Another question is, why would they do that? Also, Hank McClane, how did Hank McClane find that guy, put that thing on his neck, and control him to do that, right? Another question I have is, what is that neck device they are putting on people? How does it control them? Does it send wavelengths to their brain? Does it literally take control of their nervous system and command them to do things? How does that work? It's interesting. And why? Obviously, we know Vault-Tec's evil, and we know they want to control people. That's their main thing, is control. But is there an overall agenda with those neck devices? And another question is, obviously, who is Hank talking to on the radio station? I think it's Robert House. Let me know who you think it is in the comments below. And is Robert House dead? Which is a good thing to see. We see, obviously, in New Vegas, Robert House is alive, maybe not well. I was gonna say alive and well, but alive, and he's in his tower in New Vegas, which I would think, if Hank, I feel like Hank would know that Robert House is up in his Lucky 38 tower, but maybe one of the outcomes of Fallout New Vegas, where we kill Robert House, is canon, and they just say like, oh, a courier came through and killed Robert House. But I don't think they do that. I'm interested to see, maybe next episode we see Robert House being contacted, or Robert House contacting Hank McClane. But yeah, that's my questions for the new season. Let me know if you have any answers for them. Let me know if you have any questions yourself. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. Little pretty much to summarize, season 1 episode 1 set the tone unbelievably. Season 1 episode 1 and season 2 episode 1 set the tone for both seasons phenomenally. I love the setup for each season. I love Novak. I love everything about Fallout. The fact that they brought Novak and Big Iron into the movie, in the show, man. How much do you think it cost them to get Big Iron into the show? I'm interested to see. Yeah, and first impressions, the show starts off great. Highlights: Robert House. Another highlight: Shady Sands, Maximus. The theories of Robert House. Give me more theories. I need more theories. The characters Maximus and Lucy and Hank McClane, they're all evolving so well. And yeah, that's it for this first episode. 45 minutes long. I appreciate everyone in my Twitch chat for hanging out with us. Appreciate everyone either on Spotify listening, Apple Music listening, YouTube listening, everyone that's watching and listening. I really appreciate you for being here, man. It took a while to get this started. I was kind of nervous, but I love talking about this stuff. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we're gonna catch y'all on the next one. The next episode should be out pretty soon, since the recording of this video. The next episode comes out like tomorrow, so we're gonna get the next episode of the podcast out for episode 3 as soon as possible. And keep looking out, put your notifications on for whatever. We're gonna be posting every single week that Fallout drops a new episode, so all the way until February 12th or something, February 14th, I forget exactly what date, but we're gonna have a podcast episode each single week, so make sure you tapping in. Appreciate every single one of you. Keep eating your flea soup. I know y'all enjoy it. We love y'all. See y'all in the next one. Deuces.